Hello and hi everyone. Today we are from Group A who would like to talk and present it to all of you about our topic, which is surviving the Martian Cataclysm, TsunaMars. Basically, it is about the tsunami on Mars. Our group is built from the six members, which is me myself, Shazwan Aris, Naim Ranizam, Rabiatul Adawiyah, Anissa Farhana, Putra Adam, and Irfan Nizam. Before we begin to explain more about the catastrophe that happened on Mars, let me introduce some of the basics that we know about Mars or Mars 101. Before we begin to explain more about the catastrophe that happened on Mars, to begin, Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in the solar system, which being larger than only Mercury. Second, in the English language, Mars is named for the Roman god of war. Third, Mars is a terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere, less than 1% that of Earth's, and a core formed of iron and nickel. Lastly, its crust is mostly made up of elements found in Earth crust and has some similarities with Earth features. There are some similarities and differences between Earth and our potential second home, the Red Planet. The Red Planet is the nickname given to this planet due to its reddish hue when viewed from Earth. Okay, for the differences, firstly, based on its size, Earth is almost twice the diameter of Mars, and to give an example, that would be a comparison between a baseball and a ping pong ball. Second, for the water content, Mars has none, while Earth's surface is mostly covered by liquid, with 70% of liquid. Third, temperature of Earth goes up to 40 degrees Celsius, while on Mars would barely pass the freezing point at 0 degrees Celsius.
From all the major differences, as we all know, our cousin planet has share few similarities that interest humans to discover this red planet even more. The first one is both planets have valley and mountain. Then the weather and season, volcanoes that can be related to tectonic. Both planets rotates at about the same 24 hours, with Mars being a bit longer than the Earth. Funds have enough liquid to possibly support life, and the last one is containing ice cap. For this slide, as mentioned, Mars contains polar ice cap, valley, dunes, and impact crater just like Earth, and these are some of the major features can be found here. First one is Mars also has its own moons that have a rather atypical shape called Phobos and Deimos. Second one, there are also remnants of rivers and lakes in the northern hemisphere that indicate a past ocean which relates closely to our topic and we will explain it in detail later. This indicates that it was a billion years ago that is much wetter than it is today. Mars also has its largest volcano and the tallest mountain known to any planet in the solar system called the Olympus Mons. Other than that, it would be the Valles Marineris, one of the longest canyons in the solar system. More notable features found in the surface of Mars are the Borealis Basin. It is located in the northern hemisphere, covers about 40% of the planet's surface. This explains one of the impact features on Mars. Mars' days and seasons are analogous to us on Earth. This is due to the planet having identical rotation periods and tilt of their rotating axis with respect to the ecliptic plane. Mars has a very low atmospheric pressure which is less than 1% of the Earth's. This results in the inability of this planet to hold liquid on its surface. All of this liquid is stored in Mars' polar ice cap in the form of solid ice, which gives the prediction that water take up most of the polar ice cap on Mars, although traces of life on Mars are yet to be proven by scientists.
Next, I will talk about the landslide formation on Mars. A landslide can be defined as the movement of mass of rock, debris or earth material down a slope. Landslides are type of mass wasting, which denotes any downslope movement of soil and rock under the direct influence of gravity. Next, we will talk about the causes that lead to the formation of landslide on Mars. The first one is the Mars quake. An analysis from the Lucida 1978, the possible causes for the Martian slide is due to the triggering of Mars quake. Mars quake is known to have a smaller scale compared to the earthquake. This can be due to the changes of temperature or some wind activity on the surface of Mars. Recent Mars quake is on May 4 recorded the strongest with 5 quake magnitude, surpassed the previous record 4.2 magnitude. The second cause can be a topographic effect, where a numerical research showed that the topographic effect could play some part on the high mobility of Martian landslide, where a steep slope can cause slide of the sediment. Next is the sliding motion on a cushioned air mechanism. On a denser atmosphere, for example like Mars, it may result in degassing of sublimation. Sublimation in this case can be an ice lances. The gas is trapped in the soil causing a cushion-like sediment. This will increase the probability of land movement. The last one is the presence of water. The flow of debris or sediment is lubricated by water, which make it easier to collapse. The water on Mars are believed to come from the melting of ice in the source rock. Now we will talk about the founding of formation that can act as an evidence which lead to the formation of landslide on Mars. The first one is the presence of the famous Ural on Mars, which is a western Ural. These Ural are known to be the largest landslide deposit on Mars, which consists of volume 10 to the power of 6 km cubed and length around 40 to 70 km long. Other than that, there are also found at least 10 gigantic landslides, which can be recognized with volume of sediment around 104 to 105 km cubed, with distance longer than 500 km. Based on the founding, we can see the features of the sediment which show that the sediment has moved from a higher latitude to a low land area, which can be correlated to the formation of landslide on Mars. Here, we can see the formation of Western Ural deposit. They are formed due to the landslide from the famous Olympus Mons on Mars. Other than that, from here we can also see another important feature, which is an area of the tsunami deposit. The tsunami on Mars will next be explained by our member. Thank you.
Tsunami is a series of waves in a water body cause the movement of large volume of water. It generally occur in ocean or large lake. So in Mars, we have a Hesperian Ocean that consists of several flat surfaces spanning thousands of kilometers with a distinct unit in the peripheral northern lowland. Hesperian represent the intermediate and transitional period of Martian history, the geological system and time period of Mars that categorized by widespread volcanic activity and catastrophic flooding that carve immense outflow channels across the surface. There are several causes of a tsunami. So, firstly, a meteor impact. A fall within ocean boundaries in the northern lowland could generate a ultra high energy wave similar to tsunami that happened on Earth. So, next, surface collision. There are several evidence of the large collision that lead to form the formation of mega tsunami. It can be correlated to the formation thumbprint terrain which parallel and curvilinear reach at the regional scale of the basis of the Viking orbiter. So the evidence, the presence of lowbat on a certain area of a late Hesperian Ocean in the northern lowlands lead the speculation of the evident tsunami may be present in the geological record of the area. There's a study that identified the presence of the highland facing lowbat depressed deposit in the Arabian Terra. Uh, Along the dichotomy boundary interpret as a tsunami deposit. The overlap of several distinct lobate deposits as well as the wide range, the elevation suggests there's the possibility of at least two tsunami events happen. Both studies report that these tsunami events were likely caused by the collision of large meteors around 3 to 6 kilometer diameter on the ice-free or sea ice-covered ocean located in the northern lowlands of Mars.
Next is the correlation between landslide and tsunami in Mars. Mega tsunami was generated by a massive landslide in Mars. When the massive landslide forms, this results in a larger lava flow, higher eruption rates, and lower gravity. The sediment-rich tsunami was triggered, and it's proving the presence of water on the Martian region. The rock deposits reached an old ridge known as Acron-dorsum, and debris began to rise and higher pressure were applied, and it were generating new bridge until the flow decelerated and eventually stopped. The generated tsunami hit the Acron dorsum and coarse material began to settle, creating a sandy layer. However, clayey soils traveled further, creating mud flows that propagated at very high velocities and reaching distant areas. Next correlation is the water that has existed in the base of Olympus moons in the form of ice will melt when the landslide occurred, and it will triggering the massive tsunami.
To conclude, there are several factors that cause tsunamis and landslide on Mars. First is Marsquake that resulted in the landslide, topography and elevation effect, existence of water, and sliding motion on cushion air. For tsunamis, it could be the reason for the bolide's impact on Mars' surface that result in the generation of ultra-high energy wave similar to tsunamis on Earth. Second would be the proven by deposit of run-up lobate during the Hesperian Ocean. And last would be the landslide. Next would be the predictions and future. For predictions, scientists have worked hard to predict what the future of Mars is going to be. As we all know, landslides that happen on Earth are partially related to human activity, and prevention methods are applied. On Mars, the activities are all naturally happening. Our group unanimously agreed that Mars would one day become a second home for us, a warmer climate and a much hospitable environment. Elon Musk, the founder and CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, are one of the enthusiasts that want to initiate the program to Mars. Last should be surviving. Surviving a tsunami and landslide on Earth is not an easy task and something that we can just do, but we humans have undergone multiple events of catastrophe and plans have been made to prevent this event from killing more lives. The scenarios are made as if we are already able to roam the red planet. First would be to avoid the mountains. On Earth, humans build settlements near mountains and hilly area, which creates high risk and is especially in bad weather and the unpredictability of earthquake or Marsquake. Second would be to avoid low altitude or depression area, as sea rising problem on our home is a quite concerning problem due to the ice melting. Mars is not different. As the planet warms, ice continues to melt and water will invade our space. Living near water and also inside a depression is a recipe for disaster, as many tsunamis and landslides can destroy our camp. And even though Mars are half the diameter of Earth, catastrophe can be as destructive as on Earth, if not bigger. That's all from us. Last will be the impact on the environment. Well, on Mars, there is no environment like on Earth. As of now, humans have not yet been able to venture or live on Mars, even though there are few similarities when talking about the bigger picture. The differences that they endured compared to the Earth made it almost impossible to live there. These are some of the effects. First is geological structure, where new landforms are created by moving sediments and rocks from one place to another. And second would be the tectonic activity, as the movement of tectonic plates will result in the formation of young volcanoes that would affect the greenhouse gases, temperature, and pressure on its surface. This could lead it to being more similar to Earth from time to time. That's all from us. Thank you.